live. Yes, beautiful. We are live on YouTube. We are live on Facebook. Thank you guys for joining me on another edition of Hacking Hollywood as we explore the intersections of entertainment and technology, Hollywood and Silicon Beach. We're going to learn how to start and grow a sustainable and profitable media empire by focusing on your number one asset, which is your personal brand. Whether you are an actor just getting started, you're a filmmaker, whether you are an entrepreneur trying to build the next technology startup, if you have a career job ahead of you, your personal brand is the number one asset that you need to be managing, building out your content library. The key is time and consistency. It doesn't happen overnight. There's no point of a viral video because that's only going to be a spike, and then what? It's all about consistent quality content over time, providing insane value. If you watch any of Gary V's videos, he just talks so much about giving value. Give value, give value, and then if you have, you can ask for something at a certain point, but it's all about just delivering insane value, and that's a huge thing. And sometimes you wonder, well, what do I have to offer if I don't have, you might think you don't have anything to offer. You have your smile, you have your intellect, your expertise, you have your story, you have your encouragement, your wisdom. There's so much, your empathy. There's so much that you can offer just to listen. Being a good listener in and of itself is an incredible quality. As a documentary filmmaker, it's something that I've learned is to just be a really good listener. When you take the time to just let someone tell you their story, not only is it healing for them and great for them to share their story, but it's just a wonderful quality to have, to be a good listener. It's sometimes hard to do, but it's so worth it because people end up sharing with you just great stories. As a filmmaker, it's so important to listen to what others have to say. And if you actually notice, some of the best actors, it's when they don't say anything that is actually some of the most powerful acting. I remember just recently I watched Philip Seymour Hoffman in a movie called God's Pocket with John Turturro. It's a film that takes place in a small, like, Pittsburgh town, kind of rundown, like, American town. And it's just his presence on screen, and it's when he didn't say anything that was so powerful. That's what really blew me away. If you guys get a chance, I believe it's on Netflix, God's Pocket with John Turturro and Philip Seymour Hoffman. God bless his soul, incredible actor. He left us way too early. But if you watch that film, you'll notice it's when he doesn't talk that is so powerful. So just the power of listening, the power of observing is, I think, just a really great quality that anyone can have, especially if you're a filmmaker, especially if you're an actor. When you let the other actor play off of you and your reaction is what really can carry a scene far. So today I want to get into something that is a really hot topic. It's been a hot topic. It's not going away, and that is creator funding. How do you monetize as a creator? How do you make a living? How do you pay your rent? How do you actually make content, make a living doing it? Whether you're a filmmaker, you're a vlogger, you're a live streamer, you're writing a blog. If you're making content, you're building your personal brand, how do you actually monetize it? So we have this report that just came out. This is the Social Media Examiner did a full-blown report, interviewed over 4,000 creators, bloggers, video creators, podcasters, how they make money. So we're going to break this down step by step and look at what percentage of each category is the top money earner for creators. So advertising, this isn't surprising, 50% is advertising, is the revenue that creators are making. But this is going to be an interesting point about advertising. Selling your own products, that's 48%. Consulting services, that's 42%. Affiliate commissions, 23%. Brand deals, sponsorships, 19%. Paid speaking, 13%. Patreon/donations, 10%. Content licensing, 5%. Now, what's interesting about advertising is you have to be in the top percent bracket in your category to really make an actual, like, reliable income in advertising. So that is a hard threshold to get to. You have to have numbers, you have to have scale, and if, let's say, you don't have the millions of followers, but you have a substantial amount. But that brings me to a really good point. It's not the number of followers. That is incredibly misleading. So there's an interview on Gary Vaynerchuk, which I have lined up here. It's on the Ask Gary V episode 233. And he actually has one of my mentors on the show, Jason Calcanis, who just recently wrote a book called Angel. He's a successful angel investor, invested in Uber in the early days. And he is a guest on Gary V. And this kid asks him, well, let's just go right to, it's not a kid, his name's Brian. Let's go right to this clip.
Rusty.
Hey, what's up, Gary V? My name is Brian, aka Mind of Bun. I'm on the app Musical.ly, and I have a following of over 600,000 people. Not only that, but I'm one of 4 Musical.ly reps that live in New York City. So, my question is, I don't know what to do next. I feel like I'm stuck in a plateau. I don't know what to do next. I love making these videos, not only on Musical.ly, but I'm also pushing everybody to YouTube too. I ask this question because I have friends who have less followers than me, who have managers, and people who I know that have millions of fans who don't even have managers, or they don't even know what to do. So what should I do next with this following? Do I go out there and look for companies or brand deals, or should I link up with a manager, or what should I do? I put my business email out there, and I'm not always getting emails every day or something. I am patient. I do wait. But lately, I'm just trying to figure out a way to get a source of income from this. Because, again, I do love doing this. I love doing this. But at the end of the day, I still have my mom harassing me, saying, hey, are you going to get a job or this and that? And, yeah, so, Gary, what should I do?
So, Jason, it's fun to have you here with this question. Good job by you guys curating. Because, again, we lived through early bloggers getting famous. Sure. Then Twitter was really the first preview to this, sure, where both of us were lucky enough to be one of those 100, 150 people that everybody, sure, was following. What kind of advice do you give to, I'm paying a lot of attention to the Musical.ly stars. This is the youngest generation of stars we've ever seen. You're making a joke of VaynerMedia being young. We're talking about 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old stars. Yeah. Like it's Nickelodeon up in Musical.ly right now. What's your advice for this?
Well, I mean, what is the goal here? Like, does the person want to be, do they actually have any raw talent? Are they actually a musician? Are they actually a singer? Or are they just kind of becoming popular for doing, like,
do you think that's possibly becoming just talent in self? Like, it's interesting you said that, and I'm debating it myself.
Right. Do you actually have a skill? So what I think is adding skills to your repertoire, like, that can only help you. So if you learn an instrument, if you actually learn to sing, then you can kind of take it to the next level. So when you saw Justin Bieber on YouTube, it was like, yeah, he's a YouTube star, but he actually had a core talent.
No, right? He was a real talent.
He was a real talent. Then you look at somebody like King Batch,
yes,
on Vine. Like,
yes.
He was the #1 guy for a while, and probably still is. Like, he actually is funny.
He's a real comedian.
He's a real comedian.
Actor.
Yes. Right? He's a comedic actor.
Yes.
So I think adding skills when you're a young person is one thing that this generation
has gone
backwards. They go get the fame, and it's great. You can hit that lightning in a bottle, but get that skill. It can never be taken away from you.
Yeah, I think networking. I think just even asking this question, like, for example, I'm interested. I'm spending more time in Musical.ly, so let's get this kid into my office. I want to meet him for 20 minutes. And you just need to do that over and over, right? Yeah. How many people have been able to get to you and met for 15 or 30 minutes just by pounding you on social and email through the last decade? Give me a rough estimate of number, because I know it's more than
1,000. Over 1,000. It takes time.
But right. And some people, they email you one time and you give them 15 minutes, and some people email you 37,000 times and you never talk to them.
Exactly.
That's the punchline.
I look at the quality. Like, I look for people with skill.
But you know this. It's a subjective moment in time.
Sure.
Like, at that moment, it felt like, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a crapshoot.
Yeah, but you know what? It's a numbers game. If you
All right,
one of
guys.
the things
So
I had
this
in
is a really good point that I brought this up because this is. So this kid who asked Gary this question, Brian Bunny Franco, he's got 670,000 followers on. Here's our Facebook Live. He's got 670,000 followers on Musical.ly, and he can't monetize. Now there is something wrong with that question, with that situation, where you have that many fans and you can't monetize. So either that they were arguing that just getting that level of fans is talent within itself, and I agree with that. That is actually an incredibly hard thing to do, and if you can get 670,000 fans on Musical.ly, that's awesome. But how do you bring it to the next level? How do you monetize? That is a great question. Do you do brand deals? Do you get a manager? That's what he's asking. One of the solutions, and this is something that I've actually dedicated the last year of my life to as a filmmaker. I hit a huge brick wall myself. I finished a film, ran out of funding to be able to market the film myself, quickly realized that I was the only filmmaker that had hit this brick wall, that there were thousands of other filmmakers with finished films that didn't have an audience, couldn't get that film to an audience. And the mistake that I made was I hadn't been building my personal brand and my audience prior to releasing the film. If I had been inviting the fans and live streaming behind the scenes and inviting my audience and building my audience and building my fans during that time, by the time I released the movie, I would have had a huge group of people around me who would have known the film was getting released. So having hit that roadblock myself and realized that there's so many other creators that are dealing with this issue of monetization, I created the platform Lights Camera Fund. Lights Camera Fund empowers fans and creators. Creators powered by fans. Creators can build a fan membership business. Fans become producers and support creators for 5, 10, 20 bucks a month. It's a beautiful thing when the layer between the creator and the fan is almost invisible. That's what it should be. There's been so many barriers of separation between traditionally the filmmaker and the audience. You had the studios, you had the movie theater. There's so many layers between, and traditionally filmmakers never had the opportunity to build direct relationships with their audience, with their fans. And now the beauty of the internet, the beauty of social media, the beauty of building a personal brand is that now you can build that direct relationship with your fans. And that's really, I think, the ultimate job security is having a direct relationship. Because if you're a filmmaker and you are building your audience movie after movie, you have a direct relationship, you're live streaming, you're inviting them into the creative process, I think regardless of whether a studio greenlights your next movie or not, you have enough fans to support you. Those fans will fund your next crowdfund. They'll buy your book. They'll show up at your movie. There's just so much amazing potential that can happen when there's a direct relationship between the artist and the audience, the artists and the fans. And so this kid Brian with 670,000 followers on Musical.ly, I would highly recommend that he creates, does some branding around himself, writes an ebook about his experience getting to that level of that many fans. I think that's an interesting story. I'm certainly interested in talking with him. How did you get 670,000 fans? Create a t-shirt line. Do some really cool art and do a limited edition t-shirt line. Set up an account on Lights Camera Fund and invite your fans to become producer fans and support you for $5, $10, $20 a month. Imagine if you had 1,000 producer fans on Lights Camera Fund supporting you for $10 a month. That's $10,000 a month. That's the beginning of a sustainable career. And the whole mission, the whole purpose baked into the core DNA of Lights Camera Fund is to support creators, empower creators, filmmakers, so they can have sustainable careers that are rewarding professionally, creatively, and most importantly, financially. So we'll go on to the next clip that I have queued up here. This is another interesting development that I want to share with you guys. This is Peter Smith, who is part of the cryptocurrency development. He owns a company called Blockchain, and it's actually what allows you to take Bitcoins and Ethereum and exchange them in a wallet, a cryptocurrency wallet. So he's just been crushing it in the cryptocurrency world. Did an interview with Jason Calacanis on This Week in Startups. It's episode number E758. Yes, that's episode 758. I would highly, highly recommend if you are a entrepreneur, a tech startup founder, if you are an actor, director, if you want to learn about business and how it's working today in the startup world, I would recommend listening to almost every single episode of This Week in Startups. You will learn a lot. Jason Calacanis does incredible interviews. And so this particular episode is interesting because they talk about content and creators and a possibility of what can happen when we think about putting technology with creators. Let me get this queued up. Okay, let me make sure the live stream is going.
Suddenly
here.
they have 200 million in expectations.
Let's get this going.
But only 30 million in capital.
And there's that. Let's cue this one up. All right, here we go. So check this out.
Should I?
And we are rolling.
Fascinating. Should ICOs be off of the Ethereum platform, or should people build their own currency? Like, if I wanted to make my own J-coin.
I would use Ethereum. I'd use an ERC20 token on Ethereum.
ERC,
It's a standard.
a token on
Yeah.
Ethereum. What if Ethereum goes bust, though, and I have my token on Ethereum? If
The
Ethereum
likelihood that-
devolves
the
into
likelihood
chaos.
that Ethereum goes bust is much lower than the likelihood that your own platform you've cooked up in your kitchen goes bust.
All right, here's my idea. I'm going to pitch you.
All right.
You're a rich guy now.
Where's
on
your
paper.
deck? Where's your deck?
I have no deck. This is just like literally an
That's how you know it's
elevator
a good
pitch.
pitch.
But I want to see if you will invest in this. If you would invest in this, then it's a viable idea, and then I'll find a founding team. We'll do the co-investment. Here's my idea. Facebook and Twitter are collecting all of our information. They make their money off of content providers, but they don't pay content providers, Facebook and Twitter, currently, right? So what if you created a Facebook clone? And when I say clone, I mean do what Facebook did to Snapchat to Facebook. Just literally clone it. Like, we'll start with the feed and friends and make it look the same. Because to Facebook's own point, it's just a format.
And when they complain,
You can just point.
we're just gonna point them back at Snap.
Perfectly, right. So we're just gonna make just literally what they did to Snap, another version of it. But everybody who joins gets a J-coin, right? So for joining, you get a J-coin. And there's, let's say, 1 trillion J-coins in the world. No, for joining, the first million people who join get 1,000 J-coins.
That's a loyalty program.
Right. They all get J-coins as they sign up. The first 10,000 get 1,000. The next 100,000 get 500. You get the idea. Tapers down as you get to the network. Then we just keep 10% of J-coins for ourselves. That's our company.
Only 10%.
All right, 50%. 50% J-coins are not in circuit. Actually, here's how we do it. A third of them go to new signups. A third of them we keep. That's how we fund the company. And a third of them will be released at a later time based upon whoever produces the best content in the network. So if you're on the network, every hour you're on the network, you get 100th of a J-coin for just being online. Every time you like something, you give up 100th of a J-coin. Every time you get a like, you get 100th of a J-coin. You get the idea. J-coins for liking, J-coins for sharing. And then if you want to do marketing inside the network, you spend your J-coins for a view of your content. That's it.
Do we
And
have
there's
to
just
call
all-
it J-coin?
No, I did that for just, I was thinking I have the domain name Kokua, K-O-K-U-A.
That's not bad.
And Kokua means to help. And then my other idea was to take a portion of the coins and give them, so when people join, they can pick, I want my coins, if I earn any coins in the platform, to go to this nonprofit. So when you join, it gives you a list of all nonprofits in the world, or the top 1,000. You can pick which one you want. So for somebody like me who joins, I'd just be like, give my stuff to Black Girls Who Code, or to a food bank, whatever I feel compelled to give it to. And so if I'm a super router on the network, I get a lot of followers. All of a sudden, every time I get a like, it gets recirculated to, and every year I clear out my coins. So I say, I want to clear out my coins every 60 days, every 100 days. So every 100 days I clear my coins out, or half of them to, a nonprofit. What do you think of this idea? And then it would be distributed so that nobody, and all the content would be on a ledger as well. So the ledger for the content and everything would be distributed, so nobody owns the network as such. What do you think of this idea?
I wouldn't put the content on a ledger.
Okay.
Because that's just computationally too expensive.
All right.
But overall, I'd probably invest in it.
You would?
Yeah.
Put 250 in?
I don't know about 250. I think people always think. I think people think startup founders have always made more money than they have.
I know. So you put a quick 25 dimes in. You put 25 dimes in, easy. I'll put in 25 dimes, and then we'll just get.
And then we have to find somebody else.
No, that's easy for me. If I said I was doing this, I would easily be able to raise $1 million for it. But I don't think you need to raise any money. See, what I think I could do is I could write it up. Is there a way for me to write it up, sign up people's emails, and give them a coin now for giving me their email and validating it?
I would rather raise a $500,000, build the initial version of the platform, and then tell them to sign up.
So get the basic version going.
Yeah.
See, what I would like to do also is if you
I'm a product first guy.
Yeah, I like it. And that's why you're successful.
My preference is always like, let's put the product out, and then let's see.
All right, listen, what have we learned today?
All right, guys, so this is a great...
is the best place for you to start.
All right, so I shared with you this clip because this is a really interesting development in cryptocurrency and how cryptocurrencies can influence the idea of supporting creators. So this is Jason Calacanis talking with the founder of blockchain, which is a cryptocurrency wallet. And so they're having a conversation about how to support content creators using cryptocurrency. So this is definitely a conversation that's happening, and we are going to absolutely explore this more on Hacking Hollywood with Chai Forrest Live. We're going to definitely try to get some interviews with Peter Smith. I'm going to try to get him on the show. I'm trying to get an interview with Jason Calacanis. So this will be great. We can dive more into this conversation. So I want to leave you guys on a positive note. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. It's a beautiful day in Hollywood, wherever you are. Thank you for checking out the podcast. You can follow me on Twitter at Chai Forrest, Instagram Chai Forrest Live. Check out all of my content, Lights Camera Fund / Chai Forrest. You can see all my blog posts, the podcast, the new documentary coming out, book in development. You could pre-order Hacking Hollywood, the book. Lots of great stuff going on. Thank you for joining me for this live podcast. Grab the clapper board, and that is a cut.